I taught in public schools for the last 7 years. This is my first year at a private school. And I actually wasn't raised in a Christian family. My neighbors took me to church when I was little. And I didn't have the opportunity to go to a Christian school when I was little. And looking back, I see how much I missed that. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous. And I'm most accustomed to talking to kids on the carpet. I wish I could ask you guys to come and sit down right here in front of me. I'd think it's so much easier. I'm not here to discredit public schools because I worked in them, I was raised in them. I think I turned out just fine. But Christian school is amazing. I've only been here for 5-ish months, and it's been the best experience of my life so far. One of the things that I absolutely love about Sunnyside Christian is the parental involvement. You will have parents in your classroom all the time, grandparents, siblings home from college. Anybody is welcome in the classrooms, and you get time to work with those families. We have the opportunity to educate the whole child. We get to academically, socially, spiritually. We don't receive our funding from high test scores. We receive our funding from satisfied families who desire a Bible-based education for their kiddos. And actually I talked about in my little speech too, the three-legged stool. How there's a foundation that helps shape a child is home, church, and school, and we serve our children best when all three point in the same direction. This year I have a very inquisitive group of kids, and one of the things that we were studying in the fall was Noah and the Ark. And my boys kept saying, well, what is it? How big would it really be? And so I said, well, let's find out. My father-in-law was in town, and so he and I were looking up a cubit. And so we figured out it's, the length from the middle of your arm to about the tip of your middle finger. And so he had some cubit sticks made at the hardware store. We went out on the playground and we measured the ark. It took us like 2.5 hours, but we got it done. I wish we would have used string to actually, next year. That was such a cool thing. And we got to integrate the Bible into math and to see that order that how God has created math. These last few weeks we've been studying Arctic animals and science. And I love that we can research and have these candid conversations about why God created polar bears. They have hollow hair that's luminescent. I didn't even know that. But God created them for a purpose. And He also gave them the black skin to help soak up the sun's rays. And the kids they've loved learning about how God created the animals, the reason they did. When your child is a student here at SCS, they have a support network that extends beyond their immediate family. I love that I have the opportunity to pray with my kids out loud. I've never had that opportunity before. One of my favorite parts of our day is actually at the very end of the day. We call it pack up and prayers, and we do what's called popcorn prayer. And so I'll open and I'll close, but in the middle, anybody who wants to pray can. And I wish you guys could hear the prayers that they're praying out loud. I mean, they're just earnest and heartfelt, and it just, sometimes it breaks your heart and all you want to do is cry. But it's just the most wonderful thing to see how faith-filled they are when they're that tiny. As a staff, we care so much about our students and their families. Every week we gather for devotions on Tuesday morning to plan and to pray. Every day we start in the gym, the whole entire student body for prayer square. We do the pledges, we celebrate birthdays, we pray. It's just a really wonderful way to start the day. I also love that there's so much full circleness here. Laura was talking about how your dad was a student here. This year I have Claire in my class, and Jordan and Lisa, her parents, are here to talk. It's just wonderful. They were students here, now their daughter's a student, all their kids are going to be enrolled. It's just wonderful. I love that. You won't find that at a public school. You won't find that family involvement. I can't imagine ever going back to teaching in public school. I don't want to. It's just, this place is the best. Thank you.